The Bulls, I think shortly after we wrapped up our live pod yesterday, made the signing official of Jahmir Young, who we haven't really touched on yet, to a two-way contract. And in a subsequent move, the team waiving center Adama Sanogo. For the Nuggets G League affiliate this season, he was balling out. I'm talking 22.5 points, 7.5 assists, 4.5 boards, and 2 steals per game. Mm-hmm. Like, that's a pretty solid body of work across 30 games for the G League Nuggets. Mm-hmm. Will they take a closer look at him? Does he fit into this like evaluation period? Because he's not just, they didn't sign him to their G League team. They signed him to a two-way.
Yeah.
He took Adama Sanogo's two-way spot. Down the stretch of this season, and look, it goes to what Goat was talking about a little bit yesterday, is like, how aggressively do the Bulls want to like tank, not tank?
Yeah.
And risk the league looking over their direction? Mm-hmm. But you got all these young players. Mm-hmm. You gotta take a look at it. Like, why bring this guy in?
Yeah,
just to like play out the final notes of your Windy City Bulls season.
Let me deal with the fun part of it, and then I want Will to give the smart part. I'll
deal with the bad part of it.
You deal with the smart part and why
we got fun,
it makes
bad,
logical
we got fun, and we got bad.
We'll do that. Optically, it's hilarious.
It
Optically, it's just truly hilarious. We just sat here and talked about the amount of guards that the Bulls have, and then they go sign another guard, and 6'1",
a 24-year-old yes. undrafted rookie.
Yes, and they bring him in on a two-way and get rid of the size. Optically, I cracked up. I said, "Man, these dudes are wild." It's hilarious to me just seeing another guard come in on this roster and play. I don't want to forget EJ Liddell. I would love to see EJ Liddell up here and getting some time and seeing what he could do, because he could actually truly help your team in the future if he's healthy enough, which he has proven so far this year. But optically, it was a bad move for me, just optically and looking at it. It was pretty bad. So, yeah, it's just another guard. You have like 10 guards right now, and just looking at it, it's like, dude, again, another one. It's just another guard. All right, smart time.
But again, when you have this many guards, like, how many do you actually have? Mm-hmm. And so I think they're right to try guys out. I agree with you that like 24-year-old, like undrafted player, the pedigree there, obviously he played well in the G League. That counts for something. Sanogo, like they've had him for 2 years. They've evaluated him. They've played him in the NBA from time to time. Like, I just don't think he was really impressing them enough or giving them enough reason to try him out at the NBA level. Mm-hmm. Clearly had drawbacks in his game. Was a talented rebounder and had good touch. There were, for sure, not to say he was like a bad player, but just I don't think he showed enough to warrant getting real NBA minutes. And so if that's the case, you got to have roster churn in those spots. That's what you're supposed to do as a rebuilding team. You bring guys in, you give them chances, and then you move on. So what's interesting about this, though, is that Keith Smith reported that Young signed a multi-year two-way deal. Ooh. So I don't know how many years that would be. Is it the rest of this year and next? That would be my guess. And obviously, like, you can waive those guys and move on, and it doesn't. But that's just guaranteed money for him.
Sure.
So good for him.
Shout out.
But that's what the Bulls need to be doing. They need to be finding guys that could be on the next good Bulls team. And they felt like they had a good enough look at Sanogo, and he wasn't going to be that, and maybe Young could be.
Yeah, I do think Sanogo has a spot in the NBA. I do. There's a spot for a guy who can grab rebounds like that and score around the rim. You can find a spot for that. I just don't think it was going to work with the Bulls team and what they were doing. So that's fine.
I think it's more.
But I think he can get to another organization and probably get in this league.
Yeah, I'm not saying I think that he can't get to that point. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I really haven't seen enough of him at that level. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying the Bulls, by waiving him, obviously did not.
Correct.
We all silly like the mayor.